I can send it. A little one, I can send it afterwards. So all praise to the Most High. We are going to get into it. Okay, let's see. All right, so today we're gonna go over don't let your flesh slash fleshly desires give you over to a reprobate mind. And this was inspired. I'm gonna show y'all because this sister, some of y'all might follow her, but beautiful sister through the spirit. She's in IUIC. And she be posting little exhorts and stuff too. And I was like, dang, that's the spirit. Um, but let me see if I can share my screen with y'all. Or when y'all can see it. Okay. Y'all can see my screen? Okay, come on. All praise Most High. So, sister said, I don't think we talk about the depths of having a reprobate mind enough. People hear that phrase and think it just means someone who sins a lot. No, a reprobate mind is judgment. It's when the stops restraining you and gives you over to the thing you've been choosing over him. Romans 1 doesn't say that God forced them into sin. It says he gave them over. That's terrifying. Lots of people think God's judgment looks always like lightning from heaven or immediate consequences, but sometimes God's judgment is letting you have exactly what you're asking for. You want lust more than righteousness. Eventually, he may stop fighting you on it. And that's when things get dangerous. The lust that once shocked you won't shock you anymore. The things that you used to rebuke, you'll start begin to entertain. The lines you swore you never cross will start looking reasonable. What once tempted you, what once tempted you, so like it will no longer satisfy you. So your flesh starts looking for something deeper, darker, and more extreme. Sin never stays in just one place. It always demands more. The scary part is when conviction gets quieter and quieter until you can do evil and feel absolutely nothing. No guilt, no shame, no remorse. It's a scary thing, beloved. Kill your flesh before it kills you. So, Khan, I just wanted to share that really quick. I feel like that was powerful right there because a lot of the times, people talk about, okay, yeah, well, people, they just kind of make it seem like sometimes how people just kind of just fall through, like it's just random, like, oh my gosh, it's so unexpected. They just kind of pop back up and, you know, um, now they're in the world again. They just kind of went on a little hiatus and they just came back. And no, they had temptation, they had sin, they had desires of the flesh secretly, whether people knew it or not, that was within them that they weren't willing to kill and get rid of. And that eventually led to the Most High giving them over to that. He said, okay, you're not trying to kill your flesh. You're not trying to put away this certain spirit, this certain sin, whatever the case is. Okay, I'm going to give that over to you because you love that more than you love righteousness. Keep the commandments. Love the Most High God. Love your salvation. So we don't want that to be us. We don't want that to be us. So I wanted to get the definition of reprobate. Sometimes you might not know what reprobate means. So reprobate means an unprincipled person or a sinner who isn't of the elect and is predestined to damnation. So I got the definition to unprincipled as well. Unprincipled meaning not acting in accordance with moral principles. So we, and it's true, our principles are keeping the law, statutes, commandments, fearing the Most High, keeping the faith in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Those are our principles. You know, rebuking wickedness, not giving ourselves over to the lust of the flesh. Those are our principles. So as soon as we start veering off, kind of straying away from those principles, then we become unprincipled. And when you become unprincipled, now, you know, of course, the Most High, he's very merciful. You know, nobody, on here is just a perfect person that doesn't sin, doesn't go off. We are in these fleshly bodies, but we want to make sure that we're actively killing our flesh, dying daily, getting better, not being content and stagnant where we are. Oh, that's just how I am. Well, it just is what it is. Kind of spirit about it. We want to make sure that we're principled women in this truth, because as soon as we start veering off and becoming unprincipled, undisciplined, unrighteous, then the Most High can give us over to that reprobate mind. And now that person's a sinner that's not of the elect. Now you're 2/3. Now you have given up your salvation. You have gone back into the world. You have that sword that's waiting for you, like it says in Sirach 26 and 28. So we got to get the precept, because the sister quoted it, but she didn't bring it out. She said Romans 1. The precept she's referring to is Romans 1 and 28. This is Romans 1 and 28. It reads, "And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient." Pausing right there. So we want to make sure that we love to retain God in our knowledge. The Most High, Yahawah Shai, should always be on our mind, 24/7. 24/7. Because as soon as you start to not retain the Most High in our knowledge, knowing, okay, hey, I got to keep these laws, statutes, commandments. I got to be a light. I got to be moving the fruits of the Spirit. I got to be an example, not only to others, but I got to make sure that I am moving in the right spirit so that the Most High has mercy upon me. That's the type of knowledge we want to retain in our minds. Because if we don't like to retain these things in our mind, we don't care to pray, we don't care to study, we don't care to, die daily, self-examine ourselves, see what we can be better on, accepting correction, whatever the case may be, then the Most High can very well give us over to a reprobate mind. The Most High can do what he want to do. He doesn't have to always pour out his mercies upon us, especially because we know better. And like they even say in the world, you know better, you do better. So we don't want to be those people who, we don't like to retain God in our knowledge. And as a consequence for those, because all actions have consequences, we know this. We tell our children this when those who have children. But, the Most High can give us over to do things that are not convenient. And reading on, verse 29, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful. I'm going to stop right there. So these are all just a list of a whole multiple spirits that can be placed on people and have been placed on people that have been in this walk and have left this walk. Those that don't care to hear the words of Yahawah Bahashaam Yahawashi, don't care to be righteous, don't care to, die to themselves and be in alignment with what Yahawah Bahashaam Yahawashi said for us to do and to be. These are the spirits of being a reprobate. So you got wickedness, unrighteousness, murder, debate, deceit, and we see these things on people in and outside of this walk, and we don't want to be a part of that. We don't want to be a part of these spirits, because these spirits are not going to get us to the kingdom. They're not going to get us to the kingdom. So we have to be mindful that our flesh is weak. I'm going to get this precept in Matthew 26. This is Matthew 26 and 41. It reads, "Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." So we know that our flesh is weak. We think things that we shouldn't think. We say things we shouldn't say. We get out the spirit. We make mistakes. We're in the flesh. The flesh is weak. We all fall. But we know that a just man gets back up. The key to falling is getting back up. People who are reprobate, they'll fall and they'll stay down and then just sink deeper and deeper into the ground. We don't want to be that. We want to get back up and do better. Okay, I failed to that last time. I'm not going to fall to that no more. Let me keep moving. Even going back to our foundational precept, being unmovable. Being unmovable. You don't want to be just sitting there laying on the ground. Okay, I fell. Okay, it is what it is. I'm not going to fight no more. It's just no use in fighting. No, get up and do better. Because we can do all things through Yahawah Bahashem YAHAWASHI. Let me get this in Mark. There's just another precept saying the same thing. Mark 14 and verse 38. Watch and pray lest ye enter into temptation. The spirit truly is ready, but the flesh is weak. So our spirit, those of us who have righteous spirits, the spirit is ready. The spirit is ready. Okay, I hate this captivity. This is oppression. These spirits, they be spiriting. I really just want to do right. I want to make it to the kingdom of heaven. Lord, please have mercy upon me. But again, the flesh, it's a spiritual war. It's us against us. It's a me versus me type of thing. And once we realize we're fighting a spiritual war, then we can put on our armor of God, as it speaks of in Ephesians 6. And now we're better equipped to be able to fight against these spirits, to be able to fight against the wiles of Satan. Because Satan wants us to be reprobate. He wants us to be reprobate. He wants us to be right up along with him, doing wickedness, being unruly, being malicious, all the wicked spirits that the Most High listed in Romans 1 through the Spirit. He wants us to be all those things. But we know that, Lord willing, we don't want to be a part of Satan and his crew. We don't want to be wicked. We don't want to be cast out. We don't want to be forgotten of. We don't want to be destroyed by Yahawah Bahashem YAHAWASHI. So we got to make sure we're doing our part in this walk, fighting against our flesh. This is Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 30. Jeremiah 6 and 30. Reprobate silver shall men call them, because the Lord hath rejected them. So when we read the scriptures, when we read, Sirach 2, and we see, okay, gold, we're tried as gold in the fire, roughly paraphrasing. When we see these different precepts where we're compared to gold, that's because the Most High sees something in us. He knows that we can fight. He knows that we have promises promised to us as a nation. And if we uphold our part of the covenant, which is fear God, keep the commandments, we'll get those promises. But if we become reprobate, we give in to our flesh, our fleshly desires, we're unprincipled in the spirit, then we're going to be considered reprobate silver. It says, reprobate silver shall men call them, because the Lord hath rejected them. So instead of being that precious gold, going through that fire, getting afflicted, getting persecuted, and you coming out better for it in the end, being that pure gold, instead you release yourself from that fire. You step away from that fire and say, no, I don't want that affliction. I don't want that persecution. It's too much. I can't endure. I want to do what I want to do. I can't do it anymore. Whatever the case is, now you have become that reprobate silver through the Spirit, because the Most High has rejected you. Because that's ultimately, just even going back to what the sister had posted, the Most High, he can very well give you over to whatever wicked thing that you have been lusting over, thinking of, whatever the case may be. Everybody knows their specific walk. But we don't want to be given over to that. We don't want the Most High to be like, you know what, this sister, she's not trying hard enough. She doesn't care enough. Why do I have to keep pouring out my mercies, and she don't even care enough to try to be better through the Spirit? You know what? I'm just give her what she wants. I'm just give her. She clearly want that sin, that iniquity. She want to be off. She want to be in the Spirit. Fine. There you go. We don't want that to be us. Even that spirit of conviction. that the Most High is placing us. That's mercy and that's grace. That little feeling and that little pit in your stomach when you know you said something you shouldn't have said, did something you shouldn't have did, thought something you shouldn't have thought. The Most High can remove that from you, to where you thinking and you saying and you doing stuff and you have no conviction. And I'm sure all of us know people like that in the world. They say whatever they want to say, however they feel, they saying it. They don't care what you feel about it, what you think about it, what the Most High think about it. They feel very justified in what they say and what they do and what they think. That's being a reprobate. That's being a reprobate and having a reprobate mind. So we don't want that to be us through the Spirit. So we don't want the Most High to reject us. We don't want the Most High to reject us. Let me get this in Romans 8. This is Romans 8 and verse 3. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, God sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. So, the Most High sent Yahawashi in the flesh just to show us, hey, we can deny our flesh. We can deny temptation. We can deny sin. Because, before time, if Yahawashi didn't come on the scene, a lot of us would be, even people now, they'd be like, oh, nobody's perfect. We can just, it is what it is. We in these bodies. It's not, possible to be able to keep the law and all this and that. No, Yahawashi came in the flesh, just like us, just like me and you. Blood running through his body, veins, a mind, all that type of stuff. He was placed on here to show us, hey, we can be perfect. We can serve the Most High in sincerity and truth. We can fulfill the law. We can fulfill the law through the Spirit of Yahawah Bahashem. We can do it. It's just a matter of if you want to do it. If you care to be better. If you care to deny the flesh, deny Satan and his wiles that he tries to throw at us day in and day out. So we want to make sure that we're walking not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. Always. I'm going to read on. Verse 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. So to keep us from falling away, being worldly, being wicked, we have to follow the things that are after the Spirit. Because the more that we tend to the things of the flesh, dang, well, I feel this way, and this is this going on, and I feel this type of way about this, and oh, well, I want to do that, and that's not really, according to what, I was taught, and this and that, and that, now you're minding things of the flesh. Now you're being carnal. Because everything is spiritual. Everything that we go through is spiritual. There's always a spiritual lesson to be learned in this life, period, in general. It's just a matter of where your mindset is. And a lot of the times, I used to say all the time, through the Spirit, this truth is really a mind game. If you can conquer your thoughts, if you can conquer and control what you think, if you can constantly tell yourself, hey, I can endure all things. I can do this. I can go through this. I read the Bible and I see that our foremothers, our forefathers have went through much worse than what I'm going through. I can surely endure this. This is nothing. I got this. But as soon as you have a mindset to where this is hard, I don't know why I do this. Oh, I can't stand this. Oh my gosh. I remember in the world, I have to do this. I could just walk away. I don't have to do this. Look, as soon as you start having that mindset, you're finished. You're finished. Then now you're going down a path of, okay, well, I'm going to do what feels good to me. But that's not this walk. That's not what Yahawashi even did. Shoot, I'm sure Yahawashi being in the flesh, speaking as a woman, I don't know for sure. I'm not Yahawashi, but I would like to think Yahawashi was in his mind when he was asking the Lord, saying, Lord, for paraphrasing, to take, if you could take this cup from me, please take it from me. But if it's your will, it's your will. That's how we want to be. Because granted, if it was up to Yahawashi in that moment, he probably, in his flesh, he probably didn't want to do that. A perfect man being crucified for the whole nation. I'm perfect. What do I gotta do? Why do I gotta go through this? A lot of us would have been like, no, forget it. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm a perfect man. I got this going on. That's them. They want to be destroyed. They want to be wicked. They don't want to follow the Most High. That's them. I know what I got to do. But no, he knew that the will of the Most High was for him to go through that for the bigger program. He knew the Most High's heart. He knew the Most High and his law, statutes, commandments. He knew that love, the Most High's love. So we got to have it in our mind, okay, if I'm going through something, if I got this, and this going on, I got to be able to train my mind, train my spirit to still be cleaving unto the Most High, to still be having the knowledge of the law, statutes, commandments, no matter what I'm going through. Lest we be reprobate. This is verse 6, Romans 8 and 6. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. And when you have that good mindset in this walk, you will have that life and that peace. You'll have peace knowing that, hey, yeah, I'm going through it. I'm catching hell, but hey, I know it's only for a short time. I know that this place is crumbling. I see the prophecies coming to pass. I only got to endure for a little bit longer. I know that my Lord's coming to save me, Lord willing. I just got to keep being righteous. I just got to keep being in spirit. That's life and peace. That life, the living waters of this word that we read, that's life. The Most High poured His Spirit upon these words of life. So we want to make sure that we're spiritually minded. We call ourselves spiritual women. We got to be reading because these words give us life. These are the living waters. This is what gives us peace. The Most High, Yahawashi Yahawashi says, this peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth, but as I give it. Roughly paraphrasing. So let me get verse 7, verse 8. Same chapter, Romans 8. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please God. So we cannot please the Most High if we're in our flesh at all. If we know that, if we have that mindset that's carnal, that's focused on, okay, worldly things, outward things, things that are not of the Most High, not things that don't pertain to you making it to the kingdom, you being a better person, you being that refined gold, that pure gold, is carnal. And that carnal mind can't be subject to the law of God. Just like we see people, again, in the world, or people who have fallen out of the truth, their mind is not subject to the law of God no more. They don't think, okay, they don't have the mind, okay, I need to make sure that I'm, I'm moving in the fruits of the Spirit, making sure that I'm loving my brother, loving my sister, making sure that I'm wearing my fringes, making sure that I'm being submissive to my husband, make sure that I'm taking care of and raising the children upright in these law, statutes, commandments, making sure that, I'm doing this, this, and this. It's not subject to the law of God. They're thinking, okay, what do I got to do to make me feel good? Okay, this feels good. I want to do this. I'm going over there. I got this, and this going on. It's not subject to the law of God. So let's go to 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians chapter 13. And I'm going to start at verse 5. It reads, examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahawashi Mashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates. But I trust that ye know that we are not reprobates. Now I pray to God that ye do no evil, not that we should appear approved, but that ye should do that which is honest, though we be as reprobates. So we don't want to also be in this truth. Okay, I'm just in this truth. I'm just being righteous. I'm not doing evil just so, my husband can just still be in love with me, or, making sure, because he told me to do it, I'm just going to do it just because, I don't want to lose my man. I don't lose my situation. No, we want to be in this thing, not to appear to be approved, appear to be holy, appear to be righteous women, but because we know that this is the thing to do. This is what we are honestly supposed to be doing. We're doing this in truth, in sincerity, not because of our circumstances, our people, respect the persons, this and that. but because we know the Most High. We know what He requires of us, and we know and we love to keep the commandments. There's one thing to know the commandments. Okay, you're doing them. Okay, but what about loving to do it? Because as soon as if you don't love to do this thing, if you don't love keeping the Sabbath day, you don't love coming to the feast days, you don't love, cooking for the feast days, you don't love teaching your children about the Most High and the feast days, and you know, you know, being in the fruits of the Spirit, and you don't really love this thing, being a light, being changed, being a new woman, you're not gonna be doing this for very long. I'll tell you that right now. You're not gonna be doing it for very long because you don't love to do it. And the Most High, we're just man. You can fool a man all day, but the Most High, He sees all. He tries the reins. He tries the spirits. So if you don't truly, sincerely, deep down inside, really love this thing, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You can be a reprobate. The Most High can give you over to that. Okay, you don't like coming to the feast day. You don't like congregating. You don't like keeping these law, statutes, commandments. Okay, back in the world you go. Because Most High don't need any of us. He don't need me. He don't need y'all. He don't need anybody. This is His program. And He's had mercy on us, all praise to the Most High, to be able to know, hey, who we are through the Spirit. We're Israelites. We got to keep these commandments. We got to fear the Most High. That's mercy. Because the judgment, two-thirds, that's the number regardless. Whether we choose to endure and keep the faith or not, that two-thirds is two-thirds. And so let's determine, okay, do I want to be two-thirds? Do I want to be destroyed with this wicked place? Or do I want a chance at salvation? That's something we got to sit down and examine ourselves in, whether we be in the faith. Like I said in 2 Corinthians 13:5, we got to prove ourselves. We got to really sit down with ourselves and be like, dang, am I really doing this for the right reasons? If I were to lose it all today, would I still be in this? Do I really love the Lord like I say I do? Like I tell people I do? You have to know yourself in this thing. And you have to make sure that Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi and His Spirit is within all of us. We have to make sure that He's in us, because as soon as He's not in us, we're not in this for the right reasons. Reprobate. So let me get Titus 1. So in order to even know that we're not being principled in spirit, we're not being righteous, we have to constantly examine ourselves. Not just examine ourselves on Sabbath day, examine ourselves only on the Day of Atonement. That's when you want to go through and see what spirits you struggle with. No, every day. Every day. Because tomorrow is not promised. Later today isn't promised. So we got to make sure we're moving in alignment with what the Most High said. This is Titus 1, and I'm going to start at 13. This witness is true, wherefore rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith, not giving heed to Jewish fables and commandments of men that turn from the truth. Unto the pure, all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. But even their mind and their conscience is defiled. They profess that they know God, but in works they deny Him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate. So this is why, we might get rebuked through the Spirit. Hopefully we're all being rebuked if we're going off. This is why we correct others, because that is love. We know through the scripture that this is love, that to be rebuked, to be corrected, because when you don't, now you have people giving heed to fables, and a fable is just a lie. Doctrines of men, commandments of men, not commandments of the Most High, but commandments of men. You got different debates and, wolves in sheep's clothing trying to persuade you to do this and do that and making doctrines that feel good, but it's not according to the Most High. All those things turn people from the truth. And right here in 15, where it says, unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. It's not pure to them because they have it in their mind. Look, no, and that's where you see some people, that fall out the truth. Oh yeah, that was a cult, the Black Hebrew Israelites, and this, and this happened to me, and yeah, I know God, and God wouldn't want me to be in XYZ situation, and this and that, and this is the truth over here, not what they were talking about, and this and that, because they had a bad experience with man, not the Most High man, but in all actuality, they couldn't endure. Their conscience has been defiled, their mind has been defiled, and that goes back to the point I was saying earlier, that this truth is a mind game. It's a mind game in a sense, because if you can conquer your mind, if you can have your mind to be undefiled, strictly according to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, his promises, the doctrines that you have learned that is true, and you proved it, and it's right according to the words of the Most High, then you're going to be okay. Then you truly know God. But if you don't, you're gonna be those people that profess they know God, just like people in the Christian church. They think in their mind, their defiled minds, that they know God. They believe it up and down. You can't tell them anything otherwise. But in their works, they're abominable and disobedient unto the words of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. And unto every good work, reprobate. So we don't want to be those people who think we're even people in the truth. There's some people that think they're in the truth to this day, but they're not in the truth. They have a reprobate mind. Yeah, they probably know the Most High's name, or they think that they're righteous, and because they post a couple scriptures or whatever the case may be, but in their mind they're defiled. In the world, might be smoking, drinking, getting drunk, being an adulteress, whatever the case may be, but they're not, because they follow their own bellies. They follow their own bellies, and that is not of the Most High. So let's get Sirach 9. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 9 and verse 12. It reads, "Delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in, but remember they shall not go unpunished unto their grave." So this is another precept that we can be keeping in our mind. Look, I know that the wicked is going and is not going unpunished. If I desire to have, to be like, dang, well, that sister, she, you know, working on Saturday, she got all this money, and she get to take trips and this and that, or dang, she get to wear whatever she wants, or oh, her husband treats her like this and this and that, and they wicked, they break all types of commandments, and you have pleasure in that, you you're not going to be unpunished. You're going to be punished very severely, especially because you knew the truth, you knew what was right, and you were doing what was right. And if you turn to your own wickedness, the Most High, he's going to repay you for that. Everybody's going to get paid for what they did in their bodies, their own respective bodies. So we cannot delight in the things that are ungodly. Delight in things that the ungodly have pleasure in, because they're going to be punished. They're going to get their judgment. They might be nice and, oh, yeah, on social media. Oh, okay, I see them. They got this going on. Oh, that looks so nice. No. In the end, in our mind, we should have, okay, in their end, they're going to be destroyed. If they don't repent, they're finished. And we got to have that in our minds, too. If I don't repent, I'm going to be finished. If I'm not constantly examining, I'm not being righteous, I'm going to be finished. I'm going to be punished. Let me get this in Romans. Actually, I'm going to stay inside right real quick, and I'm going to leave it off with that. This is Sirach 40 in verse 8. "Such things happen unto all flesh, both man and beast, and that is sevenfold more upon sinners: death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood." So we got to keep this in mind. The Most High has destroyed the earth before with the waters. We know about Noah and the ark, this and that. But we know this time he's coming with fire. This is going to be the big shebang. This is going to be, We look, this is gonna be something that the world has never, ever, ever seen and will ever see. This is about to be a huge event. The Most High, he's pulling out all the stops this time. Death, bloodshed. He's sending all types of spirits on the earth. It's not just gonna be water. Granted, the flood is nothing like how movies and people try to depict it. Oh yeah, Noah got the ark, and oh yeah, come on animals, and we're getting on the ark, and oh yeah, we on the boat. It's like a cruise ship. No, people were in that water drowning. They said that drowning is one of the worst ways to go. Having the water fill up in your lungs, you can't breathe, chest getting tight. Sharks. You forgetting there's animals in the water. Sharks. Lord knows what else. Because even now haven't discovered all the ocean. All types of beasts, wild things, gnawing on you, chewing you up, devouring you. That's a horrible way to go. Head hitting a rock, whatever. But now this time, he's coming with fire, with swords. None of us can even imagine seeing somebody get literally sliced in half. Bullet holes all up in them. 99 bullets in somebody. Somebody getting beat to death right in front of you. All these things, these are coming on the earth and already on the earth. But it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Famine, watching somebody, it might be somebody you love, Lord forbid, but it could very well happen. If the Lord doesn't have mercy and that person was righteous, you can very well see somebody die of starvation, dehydration right in front of you. All these things are created for the wicked. So we don't want to be caught up in any of that. Because we see what in verse 8 it says that is sevenfold more upon sinners. So if we turn from this truth, we turn from being righteous, we give up, we can't endure, we're being lazy, being unrighteous. Look, these spirits are gonna be right there waiting at your door when stuff hits the fan. So these are things we got to keep in our mind. Let me get this in Sirach 15. This is Sirach 15, and I'm going to start at 15. If thou wilt to keep the commandments and to perform acceptable faithfulness, he hath set fire and water before thee. Stretch forth thy hand unto whether thou wilt. Before man is life and death, and whether him liketh shall be given him. So basically, it's saying right here, we got to keep the commandments. We got to perform acceptable faithfulness, not to acceptable to us, acceptable to the Most High. And it's written in His Word. What is acceptable faithfulness to the Most High? And He set fire and water in front of us, and He stretches out His hand. So like we stretch forth our hand, whether we want. Do we want fire? We want water. Do we want life? We want death. And whatever we like, that's going to be given unto us. We will reap what we sow. So we love death. We love sin. We love doing things that feel good to us, not according to the Most High, but according to our flesh, our fleshly desires. That's what we're going to be given over to: death, destruction, calamity, famine, tribulation. That's what we're going to be given over to, and it's going to be sevenfold. It's going to be way worse because we know that in the end times we're going to go through, some tribulation, Jacob's trouble, all these things. But if we're righteous, we have a good heart towards the Most High, we are in the Spirit, we're keeping the commandments, we're going to be okay. Because we know that the Most High never forsakes the righteous. We know that. But if we're a sinner, if we're reprobate, it's over. Them spirits are going to be 7 times worse. It's going to be even crazier in that time for the sinner than it is for those that are righteous, those that love Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. So we got to choose. Are we going to choose life or are we going to choose death? Let me get this in Sirach 37 and 27. It reads, my son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it. So this is going back to just examining ourselves. We got to prove our soul in our life. We got to know, okay, I know that I struggle with wicked thoughts. Okay, me thinking about this certain person, situation, thing, whatever the case is, that's not profitable into my spirit. So as soon as that thought even tries to come across my mind, I need to go ahead and put on a lesson. I need to go ahead and open my Bible and read. I need to go ahead and start praying. I need to start rebuking. You need to be doing something because all things are not profitable for all men. Everybody has a different walk. Everybody has different sins that they struggle with, spirits that they struggle with, but you got to prove that yourself. Nobody can prove it for you. You can't just lean on, okay, my husband should just know what I got going on and he sees what I got going on and he gotta prove my soul in my life and see what's evil for my soul and and try to help me not give that unto it. No, we have to make our calling and election sure. Yes, granted, our husbands, sisters, other people can help us see what's not, good for our soul. But we have that duty to do that for ourselves because nobody can get the kingdom for us. Nobody. So it's up to us to take time to be diligent, be sincere enough to go examine, do the deep dive, do whatever healing we need to do. It might be traumas from the world, it might be whatever the case may be, but to do the inner work to make sure that we are not giving ourselves over to these evil things. Because if we give ourselves over to these evil things, we're gonna be reprobate. And I want to get this. It's gonna be our closing precept, Romans 1 and 32. We brought out 28 through 31 earlier. So going back, we're going to end it off with this. Romans 1 32. Who, knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. So we don't want to be those women. We keeping these commandments. We in this thing. We doing a good work. Might be in here for a year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 years, 20 years, whatever the case is. Knowing the judgments of God, knowing that if we commit any of these spirits that they were saying, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, murder, debate, deceit, all these things, hating your brother, hating your sister, hating the Most High in your speech or in your works, if we do any of these things, we know that we're going to be worthy of death. If we have pleasure in doing these things, it's over. The Most High can very well give us over to that. Whatever sin that is, whatever thing that we like that's not according to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, he can give that over unto us. And we don't want that. So, Lord willing, this was edifying. I love y'all, sisters. If y'all have anything else, block you. If y'all have anything else, by all means, bring it out. Lord willing, y'all have a good Sabbath in the spirit. I'm trying to see how I can stop recording. But all praise to the Most High. And my phone's tweaking. Pecan. Shalom, y'all.
Shalom. Yes. Very good lesson.
Shalawam.
All praise the Most High.
Shalawam.
Shalom. Love y'all.